Imagine a tempting tray of freshly prepared pork is placed before you. It smells delicious, doesn't it? But have you stopped to think what dangers might be hiding in that tempting dish? There's a disturbing rumor that has gained strength over time. Some claim there are at least 6 parts of the pig that could be even more toxic than arsenic. In fact, in some regions, the sale of these cuts has been banned for health reasons. Still, there's a popular saying that has endured for generations. Everything is used from the pig except the grunt. This reflects how, culturally, we've learned to consume nearly every part of this animal without thinking too much about the consequences. When taste intersects with suspicion, an inevitable question arises. Is the risk worth the pleasure of a good dish? What you're about to discover might change your perspective on pork forever. Get ready to dive into a story as fascinating as it is disturbing. Because if there's anyone who has perfected the art of cooking pork, it's the Chinese. They use everything from the head to the tail, including organs that many in other countries wouldn't even consider. This animal has been a source of protein and culinary creativity for centuries. However, in recent times, alarms have begun to sound. Some parts of the pig are being flagged as potentially dangerous to health. Which parts are they exactly? Is it myth, exaggeration, or is there some truth to it? Let's analyze one by one these 6 pieces labeled as toxic, and what you discover might leave you speechless. Do you dare to keep listening? Number 1. Pig brain. Did you know that for years it has been believed that eating pig brain could improve the function of your own? Sounds logical, but is it really? There's an old popular belief. If a part of your body needs strengthening, you should eat that same part from an animal. That's why many turn to pig brain when they feel they need a mental boost. Dishes like steamed pig brain with egg, or served in spicy broth, were considered genuine nutritional treasures by past generations. But today, experts warn that this delicacy may have a dark side, extremely high levels of cholesterol. So, is pig brain a natural remedy or a risk to your health? Pig brain, at first glance, looks like a miniature version of the human brain. Its texture is soft, almost creamy, and it melts easily in the mouth. It's a common ingredient in traditional dishes like Sichuan spicy broths, boiled, or combined with egg in homemade stews. As for flavor, many describe it as extremely tender, with a unique delicacy that makes it highly appreciated by lovers of exotic cuisine. However, what's concerning is not its taste, but what it contains. Nutritionally, pig brain can be a bomb. Just 100 grams contain over 2,500 milligrams of cholesterol. That far exceeds the daily recommended amount for a person, even more than an entire tray of stewed pork meat. Consuming. Pig brain frequently may seem harmless, but its effects on the body are like pouring fat directly into your arteries. Over time, that buildup can thicken the blood and seriously increase the risk of developing high blood pressure and elevated cholesterol levels. Those who eat it regularly could be exposed to a greater danger of developing cardiovascular diseases. Excess cholesterol sticks to the walls of blood vessels, which can cause arterial hardening, high blood pressure, and even lead to strokes or heart attacks. For this reason, many doctors recommend avoiding it, especially if one already suffers from high blood pressure, elevated cholesterol, or heart problems. What's believed to strengthen the brain might actually be weakening your health, and it's not just cholesterol that's concerning. Pig brain also contains high levels of purines, which can worsen conditions like gout. Furthermore, if the animal has been exposed to heavy metals such as lead or mercury, these substances can concentrate in the brain and end up on your plate. Although the possibility of heavy metal poisoning from consuming pig brain has been discussed, the truth is that this risk is relatively low. If the animal has been raised under proper sanitary controls, the presence of toxic substances like mercury or lead is unlikely. The real enemy here remains cholesterol. That is the main concern, as it is directly related to serious cardiovascular problems. So then, does this mean pig brain should be completely avoided? Maybe not, because just when it seems like all the news is bad, An unexpected twist appears in this story. Recent research has revealed something that many didn't expect. The cholesterol present in foods doesn't directly influence the levels of cholesterol in the blood. That means eating pig brain, occasionally, and in small amounts doesn't pose a major health risk. In fact, new nutritional guidelines have significantly eased the restrictions on dietary cholesterol. But, as with almost everything, the key lies in moderation. If you're one of those who enjoy the soft and creamy texture of pig brain, you don't have to give it up completely. Consuming it once or twice a month, in small portions, is enough to enjoy its flavor without compromising your well-being. Now, if your motivation for eating it is to improve your mind's functioning, I've got bad news. Eating brain won't make yours work better. What truly maintains brain health isn't miracle superfoods, but a balanced diet, regular exercise, and good lifestyle habits. Pig brain, once considered a food with medicinal properties, is now viewed with concern due to the risks associated with its consumption. This shift reminds us that many traditional beliefs must be reevaluated in light of scientific advances, adjusting our perspective to prioritize health. The next time you enjoy a piece of pig brain, keep this idea in mind. Savor it in moderation, because what brings pleasure can also become a risk if not controlled. Number 2. Pig liver. Pig liver has been a key ingredient in the cuisine of many households, featured in traditional dishes like stir-fries or soups. This organ, the largest in the animal's body, has been valued for its nutritional contribution. It has been considered beneficial for blood and vision, thanks to its high iron content, essential for preventing anemia, and its abundance of vitamin A, recognized for its role in eye care. For this reason, many mothers choose to prepare liver soup, especially for children or women recovering after childbirth, seeking to strengthen their health naturally. Although it has been considered a superfood for its nutritional benefits, some view it with caution, arguing that it could be a toxin reservoir. Is this an unfounded alarm or a legitimate concern? The liver plays a key role in the organism. It is mainly responsible for processing and eliminating harmful substances. If the pig consumes contaminated food or water, its liver works to break down those elements, but some residues may remain in the organ. Research has revealed that pig liver can contain elevated levels of heavy metals like cadmium and lead, as well as traces of medications. In fact, comparative studies show that these contaminants tend to be more concentrated in the liver than in the lean meat of the same animal. Some analyses have even detected values close to the established safety limit. Excessive consumption of pig liver with accumulated contamination could increase the risk of chronic diseases and even cancer, raising the need to carefully evaluate its inclusion in the diet. Cadmium is one of the elements that can accumulate in the body over time, affecting kidney function and increasing the risk of developing cancer. But heavy metals aren't the only concern. This organ is also rich in cholesterol and fat. With a content of between 300 and 400 milligrams of cholesterol per 100 grams, pig liver is classified as a food with a high concentration of cholesterol. Excessive consumption of cholesterol and saturated fats can lead to cardiovascular problems, affecting the health of the heart and arteries. There's also the risk of vitamin A poisoning. Although this nutrient is essential, ingesting it in large quantities can cause loss of appetite, liver damage, and even bone weakening. The most shocking story about this risk happened with explorers who consumed polar bear liver, an organ with extremely high levels of vitamin A. The excess was fatal, leading them to die from poisoning. While pig liver does not contain extreme levels of vitamin A, like bear liver, its excessive consumption still represents a risk that should not be ignored. Nevertheless, it is not a prohibited food. In many regions, it continues to be part of the everyday diet and is subject to strict sanitary controls to ensure it does not contain dangerous levels of heavy metals or medication residues. When it comes from a reliable source and is properly cooked, the benefits of pig liver can outweigh its possible drawbacks. The key lies in moderation. A small portion once a week is enough to take advantage of its nutrients without risk of toxin accumulation. For those suffering from anemia or vitamin A deficiency, specialists recommend measured consumption. In this case, the key word is balance. Another important point: when purchasing it, inspect its appearance. If it shows white spots or nodules, it's better to discard it, as it could be a sign of illness or infection in the animal. On some occasions, consumption of contaminated liver has caused infections in humans. In summary, pig liver is a double-edged food. On one side, it offers valuable nutrients. On the other, if ingested carelessly, it can become a source of toxins. Consuming it in moderation can be beneficial to health, but overdoing it could bring adverse consequences. The next time you try it, remember its function. It's the organ that filters and eliminates substances from the pig's body, but it also has the potential to retain them. If you choose its origin wisely and prepare it correctly, you can enjoy its benefits without exposing yourself to unnecessary risks. Number 3, pig kidney. Source of vitality or a risk to renal health? For centuries, traditional medicine has valued pig kidney as a food capable of strengthening the kidneys and enhancing vital energy. From food stalls in night markets to dishes cooked over intense fire, its crispy yet tender texture makes it an irresistible option for many food lovers. In Chinese culture, the kidney is associated with vitality and male virility. Its consumption has been linked to benefits for kidney health and bodily strength. But what does science say about it? Modern medical studies offer a different perspective, casting doubt on these supposed benefits. Is it really a food that boosts energy and improves health, or can it pose a risk to the body? In traditional medicine, pig kidney has been considered a food that reinforces energy and strengthens kidney function. From night markets, where it's enjoyed grilled, to stir-fried dishes cooked over high heat, its combination of crisp and soft textures makes it an attractive choice for many. Within Chinese culture, this organ has been closely linked to virility and physical well-being, with the belief that its consumption improves kidney health and provides vitality. However, modern science has a different perspective. Does pig kidney truly boost energy and strengthen the body, or could it be a threat to health? While its primary function is to filter blood and eliminate metabolic waste, it also has the ability to accumulate toxins present in the pig's body. One of the greatest dangers associated with the consumption of pig kidney is the accumulation of heavy metals, especially cadmium. Research has revealed that pigs raised in polluted environments can store significantly higher levels of cadmium in their kidneys compared to their lean meat. If a person frequently consumes this organ with high cadmium content, their kidney function could deteriorate over time. But the negative effects don't end there. This metal can also compromise male fertility as it disrupts hormonal balance and reduces sperm quality. Paradoxically, what is considered a beneficial food for vitality and male energy could have the opposite effect if ingested without caution. Besides, containing heavy metals, pig kidney is a food with a significant amount of cholesterol, with values ranging between 200 and 300 milligrams per 100 grams. Although it doesn't reach the extremely high levels found in pig brain, excessive consumption could contribute to the development of cardiovascular problems. Another aspect to consider is the presence of purines in kidney tissue. Their high concentration can trigger gout attacks in people prone to this condition. Beyond these factors, there is a lesser-known and potentially more dangerous risk: the adrenal gland. Located just above the kidneys, these glands play a crucial role in producing hormones like adrenaline and corticosteroids. If during the food preparation process the adrenal gland is not completely removed, consumers could ingest high amounts of adrenaline, which may cause adverse effects like increased heart rate, elevated blood pressure, and episodes of dizziness. For those suffering from hypertension or cardiovascular issues, consuming pig kidney can pose a significant risk. In several countries, health regulations have established that adrenal glands must be removed before the kidney reaches the market as food. Despite these regulations, some products sold in underground markets may contain remnants of these glands, which could expose consumers to an excess of unwanted hormones. So is it wise to completely avoid pig kidney? In general, kidneys purchased from trusted establishments have undergone proper processing to ensure the removal of the adrenal gland. If you decide to buy pig kidney, you can inspect its upper part for visible signs. The presence of a yellowish, triangular-shaped structure could indicate that glandular tissue is still present. Conclusion: what was once seen as a revitalizing food now requires deeper analysis. When consumed from verified sources and in moderate amounts, pig kidney can be enjoyed without serious concerns. However, if eaten excessively or comes from unreliable sources, heavy metals, cholesterol, and hormones could affect health instead of enhancing it. So the next time you savor a plate of pig kidney, look beyond its texture and make sure you know its true composition. Number 4. Pig lungs. Traditional remedy or impurity filter. It is said that pear soup with pig lung has beneficial properties, helping to strengthen the lungs, relieve coughing, and reduce phlegm buildup. Throughout generations, this ingredient has been part of the cuisine in various regions, considered by many as a natural remedy for respiratory conditions. However, not everyone shares this view. Some question its consumption, arguing that pig lungs, by acting as air filters, accumulate dust and dirt. The pig digs in the earth with its snout. Its lungs must be full of impurities. How can they be a beneficial food, since their function is to process the air that enters the body? The question arises, do pig lungs really offer health benefits, or are they simply reservoirs of bacteria? It's time to analyze this issue more deeply. It is said that pear soup with pig lung has beneficial properties, helping to strengthen the lungs, relieve coughing, and reduce the buildup of phlegm. In various regions, this organ has been used for generations in cooking, considered by many as a natural remedy for respiratory ailments. However, not everyone trusts this practice. Some question its consumption, arguing that pig lungs, by acting as air filters, can be full of dust and contamination. The pig digs in the earth with its snout. Its lungs must be full of impurities. Is it really a healthy food? Since their function is to facilitate the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide, a key question arises. Are pig lungs a help to respiratory health, or simply a collector of bacteria? To answer this, it's important to understand their structure. The lungs are made up of millions of tiny cavities called alveoli, where the process of blood oxygenation takes place. In theory, These cavities can retain dust particles and microorganisms present in the animal's environment. If a pig has lived in a neglected and unhygienic environment, its lungs may have accumulated impurities. In extreme situations, constant exposure to dust can result in pulmonary diseases similar to human pneumoconiosis, a condition caused by prolonged inhalation of airborne particles. Fortunately, advances in pig farming have significantly improved the conditions of breeding facilities. Nowadays, most farms ensure controlled environments, allowing animals to grow in healthier surroundings. Although it's true that pigs have the habit of digging in the ground with their snouts, this doesn't mean they inhale large amounts of soil into their lungs. Therefore, the lungs of pigs raised under proper conditions shouldn't be saturated with dust. However, the most significant problem isn't the particles that might accumulate, but rather infections and respiratory diseases. Just like humans, pigs are susceptible to viruses and bacteria that can affect their respiratory system, posing a greater risk than dust buildup. If a pig has suffered from illnesses, its lungs may develop scars or nodules as a consequence of previous infections. What's concerning is that even after cooking, some bacteria from a diseased lung may survive and cause health problems. Documented cases have shown that consuming meat from illegally processed pigs has led to food poisoning, highlighting the importance of ensuring that pig lungs come from inspected farms and undergo proper cooking procedures. Another often overlooked risk is contamination during slaughter. To clean the lungs, they are rinsed with water through the trachea, a procedure that, if not performed hygienically, may introduce environmental bacteria into the lung tissue. For this reason, if you decide to consume pig lung, it's essential to wash it thoroughly and ensure it is well cooked. From a nutritional standpoint, this organ is rich in protein, iron, and some vitamins. However, there is no scientific evidence supporting its reputation as a remedy for cough. In reality, the relief that some people experience when consuming it may be more related to the heat and moisture of the soup than to the properties of the lung itself. In some cultures, the true value of lung soup goes beyond its nutritional contribution. Its preparation and the act of sharing it symbolize care and affection, which, indirectly, may contribute to wellness and recovery. In certain countries, such as the United States, pig lungs are banned for human consumption due to health concerns about the possible presence of harmful microorganisms and residues. However, in regions like China, they remain a traditional food, considered safe as long as they are properly processed. Conclusion: pig lungs are not as dangerous as some claim, but they are not a miracle solution for health either. If they come from trusted sources and have been cleaned and cooked adequately, they can be enjoyed without serious concerns within traditional gastronomy. For those who have doubts about their safety, avoiding them is completely valid, since there are many other nutritional alternatives. As with many parts of the pig, the key lies in careful selection, meticulous cleaning, and moderate consumption. The next time you look at a bowl of lung soup, think beyond its flavor and consider everything it entails. Number 5. Pig intestines. Traditional delicacy or hidden risk. When talking about pig intestines, it's easy to imagine a steaming bowl of noodle soup or a spicy stir-fry bursting with intense flavors. This ingredient is an essential part of Chinese cuisine, appreciated for its firm texture and distinctive taste. However, it's also known for its strong odor and the rigorous cleaning process required before cooking. For some, the fact that it served as a conduit for waste in the pig's body makes it a difficult food to accept. Moreover, there are frequent concerns about the possibility that it may contain bacteria or even parasites. Pig intestines have been part of culinary traditions in various cultures, appreciated for their texture and ability to absorb flavors. However, their consumption raises a dilemma. Are they a true delicacy or a source of risk? By nature, the intestines serve the function of channeling waste in the pig's body, which exposes them to harmful microorganisms such as E. coli and Salmonella. If they do not undergo a meticulous cleaning process and proper cooking, these pathogens can survive and cause food poisoning. In addition to bacteria, the intestines can harbor parasite eggs, especially if the pig has lived in unhygienic conditions. Documented cases have shown that consumption of poorly processed intestines has led to parasitic infections in humans, such as intestinal worms or tapeworms. To reduce these risks, a thorough cleaning is recommended. The traditional method involves repeatedly rinsing them with water and salt, scrubbing their inner walls to remove any residue, and then soaking them in vinegar and flour while massaging them, ensuring the rinse water comes out completely clean. Only after this process can pig intestines be considered safe for preparation and consumption. Prolonged cooking is essential. Whether fried, boiled, or stewed at high temperatures, intestines must undergo an adequate process to eliminate most microorganisms and possible parasites. However, an additional concern arises. Not all establishments devote the necessary time to ensure thorough cleaning. In some markets and street food stalls, lack of hygiene or the rush to meet demand can result in poorly washed intestines. When this occurs, the risk of contamination increases significantly. Moreover, from a nutritional standpoint, pig intestines contain a moderate amount of fat, which can contribute to increased cholesterol and cause digestive discomfort if consumed in excess. Therefore, beyond the need for rigorous cleaning, it is essential that they are properly cooked, as improper preparation can turn them into a source of health problems. Although pig intestines have a lower fat content compared to other parts of the animal, their preparation usually includes oils, strong seasonings, and cooking methods that increase their caloric load. Moreover, they are rich in cholesterol and purines, which can pose a problem for people with cardiovascular conditions or gout. Another aspect to consider is the use of additives and chemicals in certain processed products, such as sausages. Some techniques include substances to bleach the intestines and improve their appearance, but on occasion, harmful agents have been detected in these procedures. For this reason, choosing reliable sources and avoiding low-quality versions is key to minimizing risks. Conclusion: if cleaned and cooked properly, pig intestines can be a culinary delight. However, their function in the pig's body and the possibility of contamination demand caution when consuming them. They are not an absolute danger, but their safety depends on hygiene and origin. Those who enjoy this dish must ensure it has been well processed and opt for occasional rather than frequent consumption. In the end, the most important detail lies in preparation. The difference between a flavorful dish and an unexpected health risk is in careful cleaning and cooking. Number 6. Pig lymph nodes and thyroid gland, the invisible poison. Finally, we arrive at the most dangerous and strictly prohibited parts of the pig. Throughout this exploration, we've talked about organs that may pose a risk if consumed excessively. But now we're facing a case of absolute prohibition. The lymph nodes and thyroid gland, located in the animal's neck, are considered the most contaminated and potentially harmful areas for health. Some have even labeled them as more toxic than arsenic, a statement that raises the need to investigate whether it is an exaggeration or a well-founded warning. It's time to analyze why these organs should never be part of human nutrition. Lymph nodes play an essential role in the pig's immune system, functioning as filters responsible for trapping viruses, bacteria, and toxins. When the animal faces an infection, these nodes become inflamed and accumulate remnants of eliminated microorganisms, turning into reservoirs of biological waste. Additionally, they can retain residues of antibiotics and heavy metals, especially if the pig has been raised under unhealthy conditions. However, the organ that poses an even greater danger is the thyroid gland. Located in the neck area, this gland is responsible for producing hormones essential for regulating metabolism. The real problem lies in the fact that these hormones do not easily break down with heat, and if consumed in excess, they can disrupt the balance of the human endocrine system. Consumption of meat containing traces of thyroid gland tissue can trigger symptoms of hyperthyroidism, including accelerated heart rate, insomnia, extreme anxiety, and, in severe cases, dangerous metabolic imbalances. There are records of poisoning caused by accidental ingestion of thyroid tissue in incorrectly processed pork, which has raised concerns about food safety. For this reason, many regulations strictly prohibit the commercialization of the thyroid gland and lymph nodes, as they are considered the most hazardous parts of the pig. In countries like China, meat processors must remove these organs before distributing the product. However, in illegal markets, remnants of lymph nodes have been found mixed in ground meat and low-quality sausages, exposing consumers to unexpected risks. Conclusion: the most dangerous parts of the pig. Of all the organs analyzed, the lymph nodes and thyroid gland represent the greatest risk. While others may be problematic if consumed excessively, these should never be ingested under any circumstances. Fortunately, most legally processed meat already excludes these organs, but it remains essential to purchase products from reliable sources and avoid questionable quality options. If you ever come across meat that shows strange nodules or suspicious structures, it's best to discard it, because in the end, the real danger isn't exaggerated rumors, but those parts of the pig that, for safety reasons, should never end up on your plate. Is it possible to enjoy pork without worries? After examining the 6 most risky parts of the pig, it's clear that some warnings are well-founded, although certain fears have been exaggerated. The brain, liver, kidney, lungs, and intestines can be included in the diet in moderation, as long as they come from verified sources and are prepared with proper care. In contrast, lymph nodes and the thyroid present risks that are far too high and should not be part of the food chain. Thanks to sanitary regulations, the greatest dangers have been brought under control. However, the final responsibility falls on consumers, who must ensure they choose quality meat and avoid questionable products. So how can pork be consumed safely? Avoid meat of uncertain origin. If the price is suspiciously low or the seller does not offer quality control guarantees, it's better not to take the risk. Moderate the consumption of internal organs. An excess of cholesterol, heavy metals, or hormonal residues can compromise health. Be sure to cook the meat thoroughly. High temperatures eliminate bacteria and parasites, so raw preparations are best avoided. Discard any meat with abnormal tissues. Lymph nodes and thyroid glands should not be found on the market. If you notice nodules or strange structures, it's a clear warning sign. With these precautions, it is possible to enjoy pork without unnecessary worries. Final conclusion: pork and the art of eating wisely. Pork continues to hold a special place in global gastronomy. Rather than avoiding it altogether, the key is to consume it consciously and responsibly. If someone ever tells you that pork is more dangerous than arsenic, you can calmly reply, well, arsenic is definitely not on my ingredient list, but when it comes to pork, it's enough to know how to choose and take precautions. Because ultimately, food should not be a source of fear, but of knowledge and well-informed decisions.